Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
Yo, what's going on? We are back again. I am just finishing the New York is on top of Atlanta by 14 points. You got 2:26 left in the game. And it looks like New York is going to take this one. So the DC Chicago game was a good game. The Mystics were hanging with them. The Mystics had to lead for a while, and it was good until it wasn't. They could not finish the deal. They ended up with 24 turnovers for the game, and they just kind of went to sleep in the fourth quarter, man. It was not pretty in the fourth, and they were getting the ball into the paint. They just couldn't score, man. And it was that third quarter that really hurt them. They lost 25-10 in that third period. They played relatively good. That third period really killed them. They had the lead going into halftime. And they just, like I said, it was good until it wasn't. That third period, man, shut them down. They outscored Chicago 21-15 in the first, 23-20 in the second. And in that third period, it was Chicago outscored them 25-10 by 15 points. And in that fourth period, Chicago, they only outscored them by 2, but it was 19-17, and final score was 79-71. I mean, like I said, they hung with them for a minute. Minute 40 left, 76-61. This ball game's all but over. But yeah, the Mystics, it's like they're not a bad team. They just, in that fourth quarter, man, that third and that fourth quarter, and at the end of that fourth quarter, man, they couldn't hit a shot in the paint to save their life. They was getting the ball down, they were getting stops, but they could not convert the points at all. I don't know what the deal was with that, but they couldn't do it. And Angel Reese, man, listen, y'all saw my video. I said, knowing her role, she needs to be the Dennis Rodman of WNBA because she can't jump the highest and she's not the tallest, but she outworks everybody else for rebounds and blocks and plays defense. She takes her shots when she gets them. You know, she had 16 and 11. 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 steals. So, like, what do you want? 6 offensive rebounds, 5 defensive rebounds. She is almost averaging a double-double. I think she's got she's averaging like 11 points and like 9 assists or something like that. She's actually 10.9 points per game and 9 rebounds a game. So if she keeps playing her cards right, she might average a double-double for her rookie year, man. And that's looking good. Aaliyah Edwards went off tonight as well in the losing effort. Again, another double-double. She was 23-14, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 4 blocks. So she was all over the stat sheet. She did have 6 turnovers. So that's a thing. But overall, she had a good game, man. 23-14. She was all over them defensive rebounds, man. 13 defensive rebounds. So she was putting in work. But again, that fourth quarter, they were kind of trying to figure out what they were trying to do with the ball in the paint, and they kept giving it up. Bad passes and all of that kind of stuff, man. I don't know what the deal was. We got 43 seconds left. New York 78, Atlanta 61. So New York's got this in hand again. And yeah, man, it was good game, good game. What up, Cody K? Playing Rocket League. I got you. but yeah, I mean, Chicago's playing. Chicago's been in the news ever since the Kennedy Carter incident. Kennedy Carter, we got to talk about her too. Like, how long is Weatherspoon gonna keep her coming off the bench? 2 games in a row, Kennedy Carter has led Chicago in scoring. 2 games in a row. She had 24 points tonight, 25 points tonight. 25 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. She had 4 fouls, but guess what? She drives to the basket. She was 5 for 5 from the free throw line, 10 for 17. Again, she's shooting over 50%. Like, what are you going to do? Like, she should be your starter. You know, I know she had the issue last week with the cheap shot. What's going on, John Carter? I just got started. Camilla was quiet. She only had 15 minutes, 2 points. 2 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and no blocks, no steals, 1 turnover. So she had a meh night. So she had a couple rebounds, and that was it. She had a couple opportunities for some putbacks, and she was 1 for 4 from the floor. So she had a few opportunities and just didn't convert. So she's just getting her legs, so give her time. But yeah, tonight was Aaliyah Edwards and Angel Reese. Both of them were getting busy tonight. And also Kennedy Carter, man. We're going to get into the incident. We're going to talk about that a little bit. That was a topic of discussion. The Facebooks and the Twitters were lit talking about the situation that happened in Chicago. I did not see the whole thing. I saw the little video clip that they played. Shout out to Keita Love Sports. I saw it on her Twitter page. And it was just a paparazzi dude asking Kennedy questions about, did she reach out to Caitlin Clark? Like, why the hell would you think she was going to reach out to Caitlin Clark? And I'm saying that was a cheap shot. She was wrong for it. She should have got a tech or the flagrant or whatever they was going to do that they didn't do and they had to change the next day. She should have got it. You already know what her history is. Working herself back in the league. She's with the perfect coach with Weatherspoon that can keep her kind of reined in. But other than that issue, she really she ain't had no problems. She hasn't had any problems. So having said all of that, she done led Chicago in scoring for 2 games straight. That girl is balling. And when she get on the court, there is nobody. And I'm trying to think. Nah. Not on Atlanta, not on Washington, in my opinion. They ain't got nobody that can match her speed and explosiveness. Nobody. So maybe I don't know. I don't really see anybody that can really match her explosiveness off the ball. She's got good body control down by the bucket. I've seen a few people that are very explosive off the ball, and then they move so fast that they can't get the control of the ball, and the ball comes too hot off the rim, and they miss open layups because they're moving too fast. She seems to be able to have that control and can get the ball in the bucket. So, I mean, minus what happened last week, she would be a starter on most teams. And I think Teresa Weatherspoon is making a conscious decision not to start her because she should be starting. Based on the last couple games that I've seen, she should be starting. She that good. So She hustling all over the court, doing what she got to do, not afraid to get on the floor, all of that. On top of that, you can't teach speed, and she's got it. Her quickness is off the charts right now. Off the dribble, and she got handles. So you might not have liked what she did, and you ain't got to like her, but you got to respect the game, period. She's balling. And if she keeps going the way she's going, I said this earlier, if she keeps doing what she's doing now, and she keeps her nose clean, she will be an all-star, period. And if she's not an all-star, that's a problem. And for all them people, man, they saw my video, or I take that back, they didn't see my video. Hold on. They saw. Let me see here. See if I can do this. They saw this. Y'all see this? So I get a lot of feedback on Facebook and a little bit on Twitter, but most of it was on Facebook. And they were looking, they read the title. They didn't watch the video. And I must have wrote that or posted that in response to so many posts from when I put this video on Facebook. You can tell right off the bat, people that they read the headlines, they don't watch the video. Or you can see in the video, the trouble guard leads the Chicago Sky in scoring during their loss to the New York Liberty. So I'm letting you know what it's about. It ain't about her being a problem. And even in the video, when I say Kennedy Carter is a problem, I'm saying that it's almost like, not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good. And if you watch the video, you understand the context in which I am talking. It's crystal clear. There's no misunderstanding. But people want to react to what they see, didn't even bother to watch the video. Like, stop doing that. That's half the problem now with the WNBA and all these people on the outside looking in. Everybody's making comments and somebody just want to say something just so they can say they said something. I could already tell, like, a lot of these people making comments on the whole Caitlin Clark is being targeted and all of that kind of stuff. They ain't watching the games. Even with the Kennedy Carter issue. And like I said, that was 100%, it was a cheap shot. Period. It was what it was. We see that in the NBA all the time, and don't nobody bat an eye. You bitch and moan about it, and then you keep it moving for the next game. Same thing here. Even with Kennedy Carter's history, she was out of the league last year. She got a temper. She was a problem child. To the point where she couldn't get on the team because didn't nobody want to deal with her. And then she's in the situation where she got the perfect coach with Teresa Weatherspoon that can deal with her and is paying dividends. So she's got her track record, all of that stuff. But with the exception of the foul on the cheap shot on Caitlin Clark, she's been pretty much, she ain't had no issues. So even though, again, not condoning it, it was a cheap shot, it was 100% wrong. But other than that, she ain't really done anything. I think what Alyssa Thomas did to Angel Reese was worse than what Kennedy Carter did to Caitlin Clark by far. So don't judge a book by the cover. Watch the video before you make your comments. And the same thing going on with everybody on the outside looking in. Like I saw it the other day. I was like, how in the hell is Bill O'Reilly making comments about the WNBA? He probably can't name one person in the WNBA that's not named Caitlin Clark. Like, stop playing. I saw a YouTube channel. I had to go in, look at the channel, and look at their videos. And there was, number one, wasn't sports at all. It was all politics and, I'm not even going to say the name because if I say the name, that causes problems. But when I looked at all of the videos that they had created and all of that kind of stuff, it was there were no sports related videos. And the only video sports related was about Caitlin Clark, and they had made it like 4 days ago, like right after it had happened. So it was like they had no clue with what's going on in the W. They hadn't been following it, anything like that. They were just jumping in on the story like a lot of other people are doing. You see what's going on with Stephen A. Smith and his back and forth with Monica McNutt, and everybody's looking at him like he's an idiot. She made a good point. Rather than take it personal, he should have just kept it moving. But, he want to get on his podcast that night and try to blast him. And it's like, it wasn't even about all of that. I understood what she said perfectly. And she was right. Wasn't nobody discrediting the fact that he had helped a lot of women and people, WNBA players and other women on ESPN. She wasn't saying that he didn't help her out or help women out. What she was saying was, in this particular case, when you're talking about the amount of attention that the WNBA gets, he could have been talking about the WNBA 3 years ago. And he didn't, which is a good point. Wasn't no need to take it personal. He could have simply said, back then, 3 years ago, there was not enough demand and not enough people wanted to watch the WNBA. And he'd have been 100% correct. He'd have been 100% correct. Because I heard somebody else say, I forget what the girl's name. She's been doing a lot of bitching and moaning about the whole Caitlin Clark thing. And she's an advocate for the WNBA. I can't remember her name. But in any case, she said, I think it's Elle Duncan. Yeah, I think it was Elle Duncan. But she was saying people don't create Caitlin Clark in the vacuum. They have metrics and they have systems in place at ESPN and at other networks that will tell you the response. So if Caitlin Clark is garnering a lot of feedback and a lot of response and people are paying attention, that lets them know what to go with. And she used, especially, and this is where it hit home for me, being a former Philadelphia Eagle, when she talked about the Cowboys. She said, we have metrics that tell us when we talk about the Cowboys, you have a whole bunch of people that are paying attention and tuning in. When we don't talk about the Cowboys, they don't. And what she was saying was, we don't create these stars and we don't create the interest. The audience does. Period. I'm learning that now. I'm learning that lesson right now. And I keep saying this, and I got to remind myself, I am a former NFL player with the Philadelphia Eagles, whose YouTube channel was started to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and any other trending sports. But the main focus of my channel was supposed to be the Philadelphia Eagles. But the algorithm, the audience has told me that, hey, we kind of like when you talk about the WNBA. So that's what I'm doing. Not to mention that, hey, I did watch the NCAA tournament 2 years running. I did watch the whole NCAA season and did not watch one men's game. I was invested in the women's game all the way through, in that whole crop of rookies that just played in the tournament. The interest stays up and you go at it. You take it into the WNBA and you follow it. I done spent money. I'm going to buy merch. I'm going to buy me some hats and some golf shirts and all that kind of stuff. I'm invested in it and I enjoy it. Everybody can't say that, and that's okay. Might not be your cup of tea. But I'm enjoying it. The drama gets a little bit overblown because I think Bomani Jones made a good point saying that it's not the women in the WNBA, it's the men in the news reporting world that really don't know how to talk about or deal with women professional sports. You saw what happened with Stephen A. Smith. You saw what happened with Pat McAfee. How the hell Pat McAfee gonna call the girl a white bitch on the show? Like, are you crazy, dude? Like, what are you doing? And I love Pat McAfee. I love what he did on his own, and he changed the game. He changed the game. I didn't think anybody was going to surpass what Joe Rogan has done. And Pat McAfee basically said, "Hold my beer." But you got to look at Pat McAfee. He's got the attitude and the personality for that. He's very polarizing. A lot of people like him. A lot of people hate him. But one way or the other, you're going to tune in to watch. Same way with Stephen A. Smith. People can't stand him. I've met him before. When I was still working for Apple, he came in my Apple store a few times. I want to say I dealt with him and helped him out at least 3 times. 2 times. And exactly what you see on TV is exactly how he was in person. And he can be a bit of an ass sometimes because that's his personality. He comes off, and a lot of people can't deal with that. So, it ain't nothing new. But it's the mainstream media, who are mostly men, who are having an issue labeling what they are seeing. That's how I see it. They're having a problem saying, hey, these women are playing rough. These women are putting people on the ground. And the funny part is, they don't even do that in the NBA no more. But they're doing it in the WNBA. And for all the people that are still talking about Caitlin Clark is being targeted and all of that kind of stuff, I'm like, did you see the game last night with Las Vegas? And was it Seattle? Dallas. Las Vegas and Dallas. And Asia Wilson got hit so hard going up for a layup, it cut her nose. She had a cut on the bridge of her nose that was bleeding. And then they didn't call the foul. They let the play continue. And all the way down on the other side of the court, I think it was Arike Ogunbowale and Alyssa Clark. They had a collision. They ended up going back and calling the foul on Asia Wilson. But why did you even let the play continue? Should have been a foul right there. She should have been on free throw line. So there was no need to review it. She got smacked in the head. It wasn't even close. And my whole issue with all of this is when you look at the games, and I can safely say, that I've watched most of the WNBA games this year. I've watched most of them. So I'm schooled. I'm still learning the names. I still can't necessarily associate a silhouette with a name. When I say silhouette, I mean if I'm watching the game, I know some people. I can recognize Breanna Stewart, Ionescu, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Kate Martin, Brink, Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, DeWanna Bonner, Dejanay Carrington, Kalia Copper, Arike Ogunbowale, Timmy Fack Bentley, Aaliyah Edwards, Aaliyah Boston. Who else? Skylar Diggins Smith. And I'm trying to name the players where as soon as I see them, I know that's them. Jonquel Jones. And let me be honest with you. I'm surprised at myself that I can rattle off these names. That tells me that I'm invested because I couldn't do that a year ago. I couldn't do that. Kelsey Mitchell, obviously like Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese. Trying to think who else. I don't know too many players on Atlanta. Rhyne Howard. Not too many players on Dallas. I know DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas on Connecticut. Who else? I think Kalia Copper is on Connecticut too. See, even being able to associate the teams means I'm just getting invested. That's my comp. Because just like I can do, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, um, Cam Jurgens, Nakobe Dean, Cooper DeJean, CJ Gardner Johnson, Big Play Slay. Like I can go down the roster because I'm invested with the Eagles. Now I'm finding myself more invested in the WNBA and the teams and the players. I'm getting there. Mabry. Mabry is good, but Mabry is not somebody I can look at and immediately know, oh, that's her. I got to wait till she turns around, see her number. I don't have that visual recollection yet. Some players I do, some players I don't. Most players I don't. So I'm getting there. So I got better recognition with the WNBA than I do with the NBA players. So, but I did want to talk about this. The incident in Chicago. Kennedy Carter was getting off the bus in DC, and some guy, obviously paparazzi, approached her with a camera and started asking her questions, like not even really aggressively, because clearly where they were, they had their path to the hotel or whatever. She gets off, and the dude just like, hey, did you reach out to Caitlin yet? Did you say anything to Caitlin yet? And first of all, I was like, why? Why does she need to reach out to Caitlin Clark? So obviously he was looking for a story, looking for her to say something and react. And of course, and now mind you, all this took place in the course of maybe 45 to 60 seconds. This was not a long interaction. Their security was there. He got in front of the dude, was waving his hands like, go away, go away. Just kind of positioning himself in front of the camera. And then they got into the building or whatever. And that was the end of it. Now, there were some people, Angel Reese posted it on her Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And they insinuated that the dude was saying some racial stuff, all that kind of stuff. That part you don't see on the camera, obviously. But it was enough to kind of get him unnerved and stuff like that. And my kind of response was, this is what you get when you become mainstream. Kennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark were the biggest story for the last 4 days, without question. That was the trending topic. Another undercurrent of, are they targeting Caitlin Clark and this, that? That's pretty much where that conversation reached its apex about, are they targeting Caitlin Clark? And it's like, no, they're not targeting her. She's just getting fouled hard, and she got the most eyes on her. So that's what the optics are. But ain't nobody targeting her. But because it was a cheap shot, everybody got that and they ran with it. All right, Cody K, I'll check you. So they got that and they ran with it. But this is what you get when you are mainstream. They've got stories that are leading the news. And anytime anything happens with Caitlin Clark, that's going to be another point of reference. And everybody's going to be looking to talk about something. So, but they're not used to the fact that they've got major eyes on them. They are a mainstream story. And I still say it right now. If you put Caitlin Clark at a table with Steph Curry at this particular moment, I think Caitlin Clark, if they were at a table signing autographs, and let's say you had Caitlin Clark, Steph Curry, Breanna Stewart, and name your favorite NBA player. I think Caitlin Clark and Breanna Stewart, the amount of people in their line would be okay. You wouldn't notice too big of a jump off, especially when you're talking about Caitlin Clark. Her popularity right now is at an all-time high, and it's still going up. And it's still going up because we're not even halfway through the season. So just like I said weeks ago, I wasn't going to give too many crazy opinions or harsh opinions until they got to 10 games, until you had a bigger sample size. And now we are here. We got a 10-game sample size. Now we'll be able to see what they can do after they've had a couple days of rest. I saw somebody posted a picture, I guess, Aaliyah Boston and like 4 or 5 other players were on a boat somewhere, just chilling, kind of team hangout type thing. And they try to make a trouble post talking about where's Caitlin Clark in this picture, like the teammates don't like her. And I was like, she's probably the same place Kelsey Mitchell was, at home trying to see her family. That's when people you can't control that because people are going to say what they want to say. But yeah, it just wasn't true. Making stuff up, trying to create a problem where one does not exist. So, but that's where they are now. You know what I'm saying? That's when you're leading First Take and Speak and Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty, the shows with Stephen A. Smith, and when you got Monica McNutt talking for 3 days straight about what happened on the Stephen A. Smith show, and then Pat McAfee, and you got all these mainstream medias talking about your sport, that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. So, let me see. I'm recruiting on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook talking about Bill O'Reilly. Will this even let me do this? Let me see. Should. There we go. So yeah. So another thing that happened, it was I made a post. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Look at all this crazy stuff. Liberty, comment your photos. Is this it? Yeah, I said this. Hold on. So I posted this, and people even got crazy with this. I said, being a rookie WNBA fan and saying Asia Wilson is my favorite player is like being a brand new NFL fan and saying Mahomes and the Chiefs are your favorite player or favorite team. You can do it, but it feels like cheating. So people got upset about that. Somebody responded and said that was funny as heck. Some people like, what does it matter? L. Duncan's talking about there's more than one type of WNBA star, and that wasn't the point. My point is simply that that's just like there's a big contingency of non-football fans that watch football, and the only name they know is Travis Kelce. Why? You already know why. Because they might not be football fans, but they do know who Taylor Swift is, and they make the connection. Ain't got shit to do with Travis Kelce. It's got everything to do with he's dating the pop star. They know the pop star. They listen to her music. So by proxy, that's who they want to deal with. So it's same kind of thing. If you jumping into it 5 years ago or 6 years ago, if you jumped into football for the first time and all of a sudden you get on a Tom Brady jersey, it's like you picked the easiest name to to choose to say, hey, this is my guy. This is my player. There's nothing wrong with that, but to me, it just seems like it's cheap. Tiger Woods had that effect. Jordan had that effect. LeBron had that effect. Caitlin Clark has that effect. Who else? Danica Patrick had that effect. You look at Danica Patrick when she raced Indy. She's pretty good. When she got the NASCAR, she was god-awful. She was not good in NASCAR at all. But Indy, she could do some work. And everybody in NASCAR, much like the situation with Caitlin Clark, Danica came in there and she had all the press in the world. She was good looking. She was a good driver from Indy. She had some cachet with her. She had put in some work in the Indy circuit that paid dividends. She had a win on the Indy circuit. So she was coming in with a little gravitas. And the good old boys was like, no. She got to prove to me that she can drive. And she struggled. She struggled mightily in NASCAR. It did not end well. But she brought so many eyes and she brought a whole new demographic to NASCAR. Not that there weren't already female fans in NASCAR, but when she came into the game, she brought a whole ton of people watching. Little girls with the Danica Mania and all the shirts and all the merch, all the money she made. It's the same thing. Although I would say that, comparatively speaking, Caitlin Clark is better at basketball than Danica Patrick was at NASCAR. So, but same amount of hype. It was the same thing. And I'm working on a video now. I got a clip from, it was a race, and one of the old heads of NASCAR, somebody asked them, and they asked them on purpose, what they thought of Danica, how she was doing this year. And the guy acted like he didn't know who she was. And then it came down to, they called her the girl. You mean the girl? How did the girl do? And honest to God, I can't wait till I can post this clip. The guy said, and he was an old head at NASCAR at this time. Now, mind you, this was 10, 12 years ago? But literally, he says, well, she sure is pretty. That's the only thing he could think of to say. And I was like, damn. And everybody just went right along with it. Did nobody have anything else to say about it? Nothing like that. I said, damn. That's kind of grimy. So you get people like that all the time, and they don't know what they really don't know what they want to say. That's what it comes down to. They really don't know what they want to say. So, that's the way it goes sometimes. But they got to get this. They got to get this fixed. Not fixed, but you understand what I'm saying. They got to stop playing into it so much. They should just get back to playing ball. If Kennedy Carter keeps doing what she's doing and doesn't do anything stupid, late hits or cheap shots or anything like that, they're going to forget all about what happened with Caitlin Clark. And again, I want to see the reason why Caitlin Clark is taking so much heat is because Indiana's not winning. They're not winning. They can't. They've been close a couple games, in my opinion. Indiana should have 4, maybe 5 wins. Because there was a couple games where they had opportunities, but for whatever reason, them jokers cannot score in the paint when it counts. I don't know what it is. but they will get that ball in that paint. Caitlin Clark does not take enough mid-range shots. For her, it is 3 or nothing. And she is killing herself with that. I don't understand it. I get it. That's her game. But you can't tell me that somebody that is the leading scorer in the NCAA history can't hit a mid-range shot. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that. And my logic says, if your threes are not dropping, take a mid-range shot, back up 3 feet. Take a mid-range shot, back up 2 feet. You keep hitting shots close to mid-range, and then you back yourself up until you find yourself outside of the arc. And hopefully by the end, you got your stroke and you can hit some more threes. But work your way to it, especially if you cold and you can't always come down and fire up from the logo. Especially where they guarding her now. She has got to come off them picks and she got to get that ball in the air with the quickness. And I keep saying this as a technical thing, when she shoots the ball and she's coming off a pick and she's moving fast, she goes up to shoot. But let's say she's coming off a pick, and she's moving to her right. When she pops that jumper, she's still moving to the right. So her and her shot drift. And she banging it off the back. She building bricks. Now, when she get a square look and can either jump forward, jump straight up, or have that slight fade back, that's when she hits them shots. So now everybody knows to push her. So when she does hit the jumper, she's moving to her left or to her right. Film study will tell you that. And she hasn't really shown that she can beat it yet. When she shows that she can hit that shot, that 3-point shot, fading to the right or fading to the left, then people won't stop. They won't do it as much. Because I'm looking at, you watch the New York game, Breanna Stewart is a much better scorer than Caitlin Clark. Sabrina Ionescu is a much better scorer than Caitlin Clark. But they don't guard them two like they guard Caitlin Clark, which is weird. Her shooting percentage can't be that good yet. Speaking of which, let me see what it is. I'm going to see. They're at the bottom of the barrel. Washington's the only team that hasn't won. Let me see the roster. Caitlin Clark, Leah Boston. Right. So Caitlin Clark, she's averaging 15 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. So, and we'll get in another thing. She's averaging 15, 5, and 6. Right? And she just had a game where she only scored 3 points. And she's still averaging 15, 5, and 6. So how you going to list her as number 6 out of all the rookies? If you want to put Angel Reese in front of her, I can see that. Because Angel Reese is damn near averaging a double-double. That makes sense to me. Cameron Brink, not so much. Aaliyah Edwards, not so much. Let me see. Hold on. Boston. Let me see what Aaliyah Edwards, where's she at? Mystics. Never that on it. No, I can't find it. Here we go. All right, Aaliyah Edwards. Aaliyah Edwards, 7.3 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 0.8 assists, and 0.8 steals. So Aaliyah Edwards is not even in this conversation. Let's see. Rakia. Let's see if we can find Rakia Jackson. Rakia Jackson is for LA. Her and Cam Brink. Yeah. So hold on. News. Let's go to overview. And let's see LA Sparks roster. Cameron Brink. Cameron Brink is averaging 8, 5, and 2. 8 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 2.1 assists. She should not be in the top 4. Nah. And then we go back. Let's see what Rakia, because Rakia, I think, plays better minutes, more minutes than Cam Brink. 9, 3, 9 points, 3 rebounds a game. I could put Rakia up there. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, you got to see what they're doing, man. And people just, and ESPN put that list out, and it just wasn't good. Bow 316, happy CFL kickoff night. I appreciate that, man. Listen, one of my homeboys is Milt Stiegel. I actually had him on the show. What was that, last year? I had him on my podcast. I'm gonna get him on again. I should have got him on before the season had started because I know he's gonna be damn busy now. But yeah, Milt Stiegel's a friend of mine. He's a homeboy. He's from Cincinnati. So yeah, man, enjoy the CFL. I played for the Ticats back in the day. What else we got? We got any other questions? She's a baller. Yes, she is indeed. Yeah, man. So it's hopefully it's gonna even itself out. I have been noticing ever since the Kennedy Carter incident that the refs have called, they've been kind of keeping it even. They've been keeping it even. So they've been calling fouls a little bit more. Hopefully they can get on more of a regular routine. And when somebody gets whacked in the heads, they're not just swallowing the whistle. Bao says, I used to go to Temple games in the early 90s, and I love Henry Burris, and he went on CFL glory. Yeah, man. Yeah. I played against Doug Flutie. I played against Pinball. My boy Milt in Winnipeg. I'll tell you what, man. I will never forget the game we played when we played Toronto in Toronto. And it was a back and forth game, and Doug Flutie did Doug Flutie things. This was before he was in Buffalo. Doug Flutie did Doug Flutie games, and they ended up winning. And I just remember I made sure I found Flutie after the game just to make sure I shook his hand. And just to tell him, like, yo, don't get it twisted, dude. You belong in the league. And I think that next season, that's when Buffalo signed him. And Buffalo didn't even use her. He was ahead of his time. Like, Flutie could have, in this day and age, with the run option and when teams figure that out and coaches figure out how to call the RPOs and all that kind of stuff, Flutie could have played in the league. He could have lasted a much longer time in the league. But yeah, man, Doug, to see that dude in person and to play against him, I'll never forget that, man. What we got? Yeah, good grief. Somebody reacting to the O'Reilly post. So yeah, man. Just get back to basketball. My notes. Oh, we talked about the paparazzi. That's gonna get, it is what it is. Ain't nothing they can do about that. Make sure you have some security. My advice would be, if Chicago has a media team, somebody needs to be on that bus. And the first person off that bus should have a camera so they can see anybody that's filming around their area. So that way there's no misunderstanding, because you never saw this guy. You never saw his face. None of that. And they should have somebody for Chicago and for every team. The first person off that bus should walk out with a camera and they can survey everything. So if anything goes down, you got video, You saw what happened. You have your perspective, your view. If it's a he said, she said thing, well, I got it on camera. And if it is somebody popping off, you got them on camera. So there's no misunderstanding. And I don't know if they need to travel, pay for an extra hotel room for somebody on their media team to do that. But that's what they need to do. Because again, when you mainstream like this, you just got somebody coming off your bus. Wait till you finally get interrupted when you go to dinner. And somebody come up to you when you're trying to do whatever it is you're trying to do. Maybe you out with family or something like that. And then somebody hits you up out of the blue for an autograph or something like that. Didn't you just see what happened to Kylie Kelsey and Jason Kelsey down in Margate in New Jersey? Some drunk fan got upset because she wouldn't sign autographs, and it almost turned into a fight. Why aren't there barriers up in police escort? Because all of that stuff costs a lot of money, and they just got charter flights. You got to set all of that stuff up, and it is not cheap. I think people take for granted the amount of money the NBA and NFL make. The NFL makes $300 million from television deals before they take a cent from the actual game revenue, the stadium revenue, and all of that kind of stuff. They make $300 million a year just from that. So I just think people, they take for granted how much money the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, how much money they actually generate and what you can do with that money. You can hire a full-time production team. You can have, shows like Hard Knocks and stuff like that. You can do that type of stuff because it takes a shit ton of money to do that. And the WNBA, they ain't got it like that yet. I think they will when they do their new collective bargaining agreement next year. I think they will, but right now, Kathy Engelbert is trying to manage what they spend money on. You had to get the charter flights because it was a security risk. For the same reason with the person harassing Kennedy Carter getting off the bus. That same reason, because them same people going to end up in the airports. Them same people going to figure out what restaurants what hotels you staying at. Now they got the paparazzi are the same as groupies. They got people that work in the hotels. So whenever somebody comes into town, a team comes into town, they know exactly where they stand, what floors they stand on, who's in the lobby, who's in the bar, all of that kind of stuff. They got connections to all of that. And now that the WNBA is mainstream, this will not be the last time the paparazzi infiltrate whatever it is that they're doing in the W. Because they are in that space now, and they got to get ready for it. They can't play catch up. You got too many obvious examples. And the question only is, do they have enough? They got enough cash to handle what they got to handle. Because again, security is not cheap. Good security anyways. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle this situation. So what else I got? We talked about that. The people making comments that don't watch. We just talked about the rankings. Yep. Yeah, Angel and Aaliyah both getting double doubles tonight. Mystic didn't look good in the fourth quarter. Third period is what killed him though. 24 turnovers, 14. That's not good. It's bad for business. Bad for business. So yeah, man, we're gonna keep it moving. So this was a good recap show. Good games tonight. It's funny that Indiana is already surpassed 10 games and some teams have not yet. So we'll see what they're gonna do, man. It was a good night tonight. Keep things moving. I will be having some Eagles content tomorrow, so stay tuned and let us not forget that. Let me check the WNBA site, and there we go. Today is the 6th because it's my mama's birthday. So the 7th, tomorrow, we got Indiana and Washington. I will be doing Indiana and Washington. That will be a live play-by-play and post-game show. Indiana at Washington. So I will be there for that. I will be also watching Seattle because one of my favorite players plays for Seattle, and that's Jewel Lloyd. I like watching Jewel Lloyd. But that's the schedule for tomorrow. What's up, C-Man? So, yeah, man, that's the schedule for tomorrow. I will be doing the Indiana, Washington. Okay, so Washington got back-to-back. So now they play tonight, and they play tomorrow night. Indiana comes into town. Indiana's coming off of 4 days of rest. So I'm expecting Indiana to win this game. Washington, oof. But if there's a team that they can get a win off of, it will be Indiana. But I think Indiana's going to be fresh. I think they're going to be good because they had some time to practice finally. They're not just hitting the travel wall. So we'll see. We'll see how they turn out. That should be a good game tomorrow. And then Las Vegas and Seattle, that's definitely going to be a good game. But nobody's proven to me they can stop A'ja Wilson yet. Haven't seen it. That girl can hit every shot on the floor. She can hit a mid-range. She can hit from the top of the key. She can hit a three. She can do putbacks. She grabs rebounds. All of it. She ain't afraid to get on the floor and get dirty. Everything. A'ja Wilson is her right now. And I have not seen my top 3 in the league right now as far as performances. A'ja Wilson is number 1. Dewana Bonner is number 2. Arike Agumbawale is number 3. And Breanna Stewart is number 4. Those are my top 4 right there. And if I want to put a 5th in, Kalia Copper, I will stick her in there. That's my top 5 right now. That's my top 5 right now because I have not seen anybody come close to stopping A'ja Wilson. That girl, she is a tornado on the court, man. She makes her shots. That's why Las Vegas is so good. They make their shots. I wonder what they shooting, what their field goal percentage is as a team right now. It's got to be ridiculous. It's got to be ridiculous. Let's see if I can find that out. Home. Nah. I'm about to look some more into that. But yeah, Las Vegas is in another world right now. And everybody is making shots. A'ja Wilson, 27.9 points a game, rebounds, 12.4. So she averaging a double-double. Jackie Young is balling, 7.6 assists. A'ja Wilson, she's leading 4 out of the 5 categories. Points, rebounds, steals, and blocks. That's just stupid. They are averaging 87 points a game. What is their percentage? Field goal percentage. They're shooting 42% from the floor. 42.9% from the floor. They only shooting 9%. 9% from the 9.7% from 3. Is it that bad? And they still whooping everybody? Good grief. I mean, they've lost 2 games, right? 5-2, yeah. They've lost 2 games. And they still got 3 games before they even get to 10. So they still gotta do that crazy road trip that Indiana did. Yeah, see, man, I'm looking for a bounce back game too. They finally had practice. I'm looking for that too. Yeah, Asia right now, Asia is the best in the league, in my opinion. Asia Wilson and Breanna Stewart. However, Dewana Bonner is definitely playing better than Breanna Stewart right now. Not better than, but she on an undefeated team, and she leading the charge. So, got to give it to her. Connecticut and the Ace is going to be interesting. That's going to be a good game. I'm predicting Connecticut going to take that game, but it'll be a very good to see Alyssa Smith and Asia Wilson. So I want to see them 2 go at it. So that's going to be a fun game. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but all right, I got to get busy. I got some videos to produce for tomorrow. But I'm going to do a play-by-play tomorrow, 7:30 when the game starts. You know how I normally do my interface and the scores and all that kind of stuff. And I am going to try to do a legit play-by-play. So I got to kind of get into it tomorrow and learn the, if it's Grace Berger in the game. And I got to learn the silhouettes, man. I still am not I'm able to, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Alyssa Smith, Timmy Fagbinley is still out. Grace Berger, Celeste Taylor. Celeste, though, I have problems recognizing her. Grace Berger, I know she is, just from seeing her on the court. I don't have to see. When I say I know who she is, that means I don't have to wait to see her jersey number or the name on her back. I can look at her and just at a glance and just by her silhouette, body shape, all that kind of stuff, you know who you're looking at. So that's what I'm talking about. I got to get to the point where I know everybody on every team, and then I can start doing a much better job with the play-by-play stuff. So I will be back tomorrow. 7:30, we're going to get started. Live play-by-play. Let's see if Indiana can get another win because Washington is struggling right now. But Washington got some good players. Aaliyah Boston is balling. They got some good players on their team, so let's see what they can do. Indiana's a good chance to get them another win. So, Grace, she got that hair and she got them big shoulders. That's how I always know. She got them cut arms and shoulders. So it should be a good game tomorrow. So we'll see. But I'm gonna get up on out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for joining me. C-Man, Bob 316, Cody K, Alan Luter, John Carter. I appreciate you, man. Don't be strangers. We'll be doing this again tomorrow. I hope you guys can tune in. Y'all get up on out of here. Be safe. God bless. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.